my gosh. Not all everyone's looking, plant. Jeez, you're embarrassing me. Plant is all up in my... Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about Uranus going retrograde in the sign of Taurus. Technically I did a video about Uranus moving through the sign of Taurus, so if you haven't seen that, please go ahead and check that out, because that's where you're going to see a lot of these changes happening within your life if you haven't already seen them. But when Uranus goes retrograde, and that's what this video is going to be mostly about, when Uranus goes retrograde, you really do need to kind of expect the unexpected as far as what it is that you can expect. And I know that sounds so crazy, but hear me out. The internet is kind of conflicted, including astrologers that are writing about Uranus either going direct or retrograde, because when Uranus is direct already, the energy of that planet is a little wonky, to say the least. It likes to do things differently. It likes to switch things up. It likes to keep you on your toes, to say the least. So when it's retrograde, it would make sense for us to say that it starts to calm down, it starts to diminish its energy, but that's actually not the case. Even though that works for other retrograde planets, for some reason Neptune and Uranus, they don't kind of abide by the same rules that all the other planets do when it comes to following the retrograde rules. So I want you guys to be very, very clear and aware that when I say expect the unexpected, you can see that when it's direct, but expect the unexpected when it comes to expecting what to expect. And that's a mouthful, to say the least. So what I'm seeing is that when Uranus moved into the sign of Taurus, and again, the details of that will be down below in the description box, but when Uranus moved into the sign of Taurus, you are starting to see a lot of shakeups, breakdowns, breakthroughs, and factor in the fact that Pluto is retrograde, Neptune is was retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, especially at the time of Uranus going retrograde. So all of these things were retrograding and putting their influence into what was going on in your life. So we were seeing a lot of breakdowns, we're seeing a lot of restructuring. So when Uranus moved into the sign of Taurus, we started seeing that whatever it was that Taurus ruled within your chart, we started to see this like revolutionary idea when it comes to our values, our self-love, etc., etc. So what I'm seeing and what I can predict for what's to happen, because again, this is one of those planets that annoys the internet, because you can't quite put your finger on what's going to happen, where it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen, because Uranus rules the unexpected and different. So what I can say is that how things were and how things have been, now it will flip. It will do a 180, but it'll also be like flipping a coin, because you can't really predict. It's like the Tower card within the tarot. And as I'm talking, this plant is like tickling the back of my neck, and I just need you to respect my privacy, not in front of everyone, plant. God, I know I'm cute, but damn. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so let's say you're normally more of an introverted personality. This is when you start to see yourself feeling liberated in different ways, and then you start to express yourself and do things differently. So how others may have perceived you and have the awareness that they have of you might shift and change, because you yourself are changing. Let's say you're mostly an extroverted personality, then you can find yourself kind of needing to take some time and to go within for whatever reason. Maybe there's an external circumstance that triggers this need to kind of to remove or to disconnect. Uranus actually does kind of cut, remove, release, and separate certain things. So you could see this happening within yourself, where you are separating from certain stuff. It's like an erratic change, like something just comes in and cuts the cord, and you're just completely released, and that is considered your liberation. That creates freedom for you. But it's going to happen in your life in a certain specific area, depending on what Taurus rules within your chart, depending on where Uranus is falling within your chart, and also what areas Uranus rules in your chart. So I'm sorry, that's kind of a mouthful. The other thing that it is that I'm seeing is some things being pulled together. And even though Uranus is retrograde, it can bring back things of the past. It can bring back things from the future. It's like being in a tank, a money tank, and it's just all these dollar bills are flying around. So you just do your best to kind of catch them, or the universe or your life is catching these dollar bills. You have no idea how much money you're going to gain from it. You just know that there's a lot flying around. So that's what Uranus retrograde can bring. But then also on the same token, the Uranus retrograde can turn off the air vents, and then the money just kind of settles, and then that's when you come up and you just scoop up all the abundance. So it really does vary per person. And then what could at one point be working for you or be lit and active can then at the next moment be very quiet. It's very much like a roller coaster ride. Now, you guys may have heard me talk about this in one of our Astro Live chats. At the time of me filming this, it's August 7th, and that is the day that Uranus goes retrograde. August 6th was Monday, and I had my Astro Live chat. And during that Astro Live chat, I was receiving a lot of messages that I shared with my BehatiLife tribe. And one of the main messages that I felt and that I saw this guy's like was watching me like film. I want to be like, hey, what's up, hello. But one of the main messages that I saw was this kind of like shell that people have around them. And I don't want to repeat the message because I went in hard with it during that when I was originally filming and sharing that message with our live chat. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to insert that here so that you can hear it, remember it, and just allow the message to absorb into you now, because it applies to Uranus going retrograde this week and its energy as you move forward ahead. So let me go ahead and put it in now so you can listen, and then I'll meet you in 2 seconds. So if you're being broken down right now, it's not a game, you are. And it's the best thing to happen to you, honestly. Because what is happening is your ego, your external, how you have, the wall that you've built up. If this is who I am, if I'm Jessica Alexandria of BehatiLife, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm skin, and I've got necklace, and I've got bones, and I have a heart, and blood within me, there is a protective barrier that I've learned because of what life has shown me and what life has given to me. And for that is my approach to life. And what ends up happening is I have this shell around me in ways that are good, that benefit me, and ways that are negative but still benefited me. So let's say for your whole entire life you've been told that you're a piece of shit, you don't mean anything, you're not valuable, you're not worthy of time, of attention, of energy. Whether someone said it to your face or through their actions, they didn't have to say anything at all. Maybe someone said, you know, I'm not going to invest in you. Maybe someone said, you're ugly. It doesn't matter. You're fat. You're too small. Your butt's too big. You're not smart. You're unintelligent. Maybe someone said that, and because of that, you grew a barrier. You grew a wall, and you pushed back. So you say, well, I'm not going to let this person in. I'm never going to feel this way again, so I'm going to put a wall up. And you're never going to get me. I'm going to protect myself. And that's exactly what it is that you did. You put that wall up to protect yourself because you had to. You had to. And no one is faulting you in your own personal protection. You learned what you had to do to protect yourself in that moment. Thank God you did it. Because if you kept on allowing yourself to be vulnerable to those same people who were saying those same things to you, you would have been broken down more. So you had that wall up. Thank God you did it. But they're gone now. Is that wall still there? Is that shell still there? And what that wall ends up doing is it ends up crystallizing into an ego. And what I see is the universe, thank God, and we never understand it, but what I see is the universe, circumstances, all and everything that happens in your life is there destined to fucking change you. Everything. From good experiences, from bad experiences, it's there to change you. When your boyfriend leaves, your girlfriend leaves, when a job opportunity falls through, when if you get sick, if you lose your job, if you lose an opportunity, you have $100 to your name and that's it. All of it is there to break you down because it's telling you that at the core, at your base, at when you're on your stomach and there is no more fight left, there is everything within you that is working on your benefit, for your benefit, on your behalf, to show you that at the end of the day, you are all that you need, and anything else that you at one point had to protect yourself from, it's gone. And that breakdown, you being broken down, actually is happening because you are breaking through. And what's being broken down is not you. It's your fucking ego. It's everything that it is that you built up, this barrier up until this point. And it's all breaking off right now. Fucking thank God. Like, let it go. Like, let it go. And what I'm seeing is no one is faulting you, you guys. No one is faulting you. No one. I'm not looking at you and telling you that you need to heal, that you need to force your healing, that you need to hurry up and shed. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that when you start seeing this shell crack, you're going to see your light. And the whole world is going to tell you to not be vulnerable, to not try, to not believe, to not have faith, to stop loving. Don't listen to them. Literally, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They're just not where you're at. They don't understand. And that's fine. But when that ego starts breaking down, your light starts to shine, things start to change, because everything in your life is a setup for you to break through into the awesome, potential, unique, divine spirit that you are. All of that, all of who you are is connected to the divine. There is no mistakes in that. There is never a mistake in that. So as you can see, and I hope that that message resonated for those of you guys that needed to hear it, as you can see, there is this breaking apart, and it makes a lot of sense that that was the message that came through at that time, because it was the day before Uranus was to go retrograde. And what I'm seeing is, well, let me take a step back. Uranus is connected to your personal liberation and your personal freedom and you breaking free. So not only can this mirror itself in external situations, meaning like job opportunities or people, relationships, health issues, lifestyle changes. Yes, those are external, but it can also represent an internal freedom, an internal liberation. Now, Uranus, believe it or not, is connected to advancements in healing, not only in modern medicine. If we ever see leaps in healing, it's because Uranus has its finger in the works and it says, okay, let's think light years ahead, especially when it comes to technology and any type of improvement. So what I'm seeing is that, and with Uranus retrograde, it's like flipping a coin. Sometimes you have this like blast forward, even with it being retrograde, of advancement and striking free and striking fresh and being liberated from the things that normally have confined you, this old ego, this old lifestyle, these habits, this anxiety, this doubt, the things that are connected to the subconscious, the things that rule our action, and we don't even realize how much of an influence it has on us. So those are things that I can see within my tribe, is this breaking free of these restrictions that have really held you back, because now Uranus is going retrograde. But again, it's so different for everyone, because where one person is going through these leaps in their own personal life, another person is pulling back and becoming way more self-reflective and wanting to kind of quiet themselves or do differently, especially now as Mars, at the time of me filming this video, is moving outside, currently retrograde, but moving out of Aquarius and into the sign of Capricorn. Now, Aquarius is connected to Uranus. Uranus rules the sign Aquarius, and Mars rules our ability to do, our action, our motivation, how we work to accomplish things. And Mars, throughout the entire time that Mars has been sitting in the sign of Aquarius, I've been telling you guys to do differently. So when Uranus goes retrograde, what I'm seeing is this instinctual need and this impulse, this reaction to kind of do differently, to express yourself differently, to strike free, to strike fresh, to take that leap of faith, to go out into the unknown and to try and to accomplish and to achieve and leave behind the things that have normally held you back. whether it be you're in this certain neighborhood, or you've never explored the world, or you want to study new topics, if you want to, if there's a certain relationship pattern that you see within your life, this is when Uranus comes in and says, look, I need you to see that what has been, how things have been, is not conducive to what it is that you ultimately want. And ultimately what the universe has for you is not what it is that you keep picking up and you keep accepting and allowing. So now it's going to switch things up. It needs you to look ahead. It needs you to do differently. This is when those ideas start really coming in, and they're like aha moments, and you want to capture them, you want to write them down. Because during Uranus retrograde, this is when a lot of people have breakthroughs. Especially as I was talking in the video that I just included, that little clip where people who are breaking down, it's all about your personal freedom and liberation on a deeper level. Alright, so I hope that makes sense, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And let me know how Uranus in retrograde, this is the time to talk about it in the comments down below. Keep us posted. Keep the BehatiLife tribe posted on what's going on in your life and how this is impacting you, and I will do the same for you. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. That's at BehatiLife, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.